Most of us live in a world where everything that we need is just an app tap or a grocery store run away. It is incredibly convenient. But this convenience hides a fragile reality. We likely don't know where our water comes from. We don't know who grows our food, and most of us don't even know the names of the people living 50 feet across the street. It is an artificial way to live. And the second that a minor disruption happens, whether it's a storm or a supply chain delay, we instantly feel the weight of that isolation. And we realize that we are completely dependent on a massive invisible system. And if that system stumbles for even a week, our households are left stranded. So when we realize just how fragile that independence is, what is the solution? Welcome to the Fearless Household. I am Michelle. For decades, the standard response to institutional collapse has been to build an isolated bunker or lock your doors or hoard a mountain of supplies and treat everyone outside your walls as a threat. But trying to carry the weight of an entire crisis on your own shoulders is a fast track to total physical and financial exhaustion. We don't need to look forward to new technology, and we definitely don't need to isolate ourselves in fear. Instead, we can look back at an ancient, proven pattern of survival, the early Christian church in Acts chapter 2. Now, the Bible doesn't give us a specific head count or a rigid math formula for how they organized, but what it does show us is a group of everyday families who simply chose to face an uncertain world as a structured team rather than as isolated individuals. They broke bread in their homes together, they held things in common, and they made sure that nobody was left behind. When people read about the early saints holding all things in common, though, they often panic. They assume that this means giving up your privacy or dumping all of your assets into a giant communal pot and letting a random committee tell you how to live and what you need. But true biblical community doesn't strip you of your agency. God gave you stewardship over your home, your family, and your unique skills. No one else gets to dictate how you manage those assets. Instead, it's about a shared covenant. It means you manage your home so intentionally that you actively work to produce more than your family needs so that you have a surplus of time, skill, or resource to strengthen the network. So let's be completely honest about how a community functions. A healthy network cannot survive on consumers or leeches. It requires active producers where everyone carries a shovel. Now, life does fluctuate, and there will be seasons where a family hits a hard patch due to illness or loss or crisis, and they will need temporary cover and support to get back on their feet. The community exists to wrap our arms around them during that season, helping them heal and discover their talents and rebuild. But the goal of that support is restoration, not permanent dependency. We don't enable isolation, and we don't enable idleness. We build a safe haven where every single household is expected to grow and develop their stewardships and ultimately contribute their piece of the puzzle back into the ecosystem. When we do collaborate, though, we have to do it intelligently so that we don't accidentally burn out the families who are producing. It's all about system efficiency. So I want you to think about this as a water infrastructure. If a neighborhood goes through a massive dry spell, it makes absolutely no sense for 20 separate families to drag 20 shallow buckets to a creek every morning. It's exhausting, and that is a wasteful use of energy that leaves everybody vulnerable. So instead, a cluster of 12 to 24 households, say, would work together to establish one deep, pristine well. Everyone contributes to the effort. The resource is conserved, and the entire neighborhood secures a permanent lifeline without draining any single family's strength. And that takes the crushing weight off of your shoulders because now you finally have a structured team where everyone is moving in the same direction. So this week, I want you to stop looking at your household as an isolated island and look at it as a producer. If you want to figure out where your current strengths fit into this kind of covenant network, head over to thefearlesshousehold.com and take our free stewardship audit. It's a practical tool that's designed to show you exactly what you bring to the table right now and where you need to grow next. Once a group of families commits to this way of living, the next major hurdle is going to be figuring out how to actually make decisions and manage resources and resolve disagreements without the usual neighborhood drama or political fighting. So next time, we are going to break down the practical framework that we use to keep a pod unified and orderly. We are going to dive into voice, vote, value, which is our decision-making framework, to show you how we practice biblical common consent to maintain absolute unity and protect every single person's God-given agency when the world around you is fracturing. Go to thefearlesshousehold.com, take your stewardship audit, and discover a better way. Stop stockpiling, start connecting, and I will see you next time.